2022 is dead. It is gone. It's time to move on. Let's all start to look forward to 2023 because, ladies and gentlemen, do we have a huge year of video games before us, and co-op is not immune to that. Right now, Gabe and I have compiled 30 plus co-op games supposedly releasing in 2023, and while we will eventually make a video cataloging all of that, today we want to talk about the 10 most anticipated co-op games that we're looking forward to. Now, for just a second, let's all live in a world where video game delays don't happen. We've ranked these games with the assumption they come out this year. Will they all be released this year? No. Well, probably not. But we don't care. It's the beginning of a new year, and we're not here to be downers, we're here to get excited. So join us, the Co-op Bros, as we dream about our most anticipated co-op titles for 2023.
Let's start things off with For the King 2. That's right, a little indie game taking the number 10 spot. So the original game holds a special place in our hearts as one of the first few games that we covered on the channel. It's a great indie darling that held a ton of potential, so of course we were really happy to see an official sequel is coming sometime this year. Like its predecessor, For the King 2 is a turn-based, roguelike tabletop RPG experience. Yeah, it's a lot, but it all worked really well in the first game. The sequel looks better in every way possible, especially with its updated art style. Supporting 4-player local and online co-op, your party can take on a variety of different campaigns, move along the tabletop board, and fight in turn-based RPG battles. Like a tabletop game, everything you do is dictated by a dice roll, and as someone who loves D&D, this game really captures the whole tabletop gaming experience. For the King 2 is slated to release sometime this year, presumably on PC first before hitting other platforms, and we couldn't be more excited.
Let's all just be honest, Xbox straight up wet the bed last year, as far as exclusives are involved. Sure, Game Pass was as good as ever in 2022, but it's high time all those acquired studios start to deliver. Redfall might be the first of those to release, and we are both very interested and also kinda nervous. Redfall is a 1 to 4 player co-op shooter with specific characters to choose from, not self-made classes. It's made by the excellent developers from Arcane, who you would know through Deathloop or Dishonored or Prey, so expectations are of course high. Where we're a little bit worried is the overall direction. Arcane has gone back and forth, emphasizing the multiplayer and then emphasizing the single player experience, and that's not usually a great sign. That's especially true for a studio that's taking its first dive into co-op. We've seen games in the past try to toe this line, and it usually spells disaster with reviews. Hopefully they really commit to the co-op side of things, and it's reviewed correctly in that way, but time will tell. Redfall will come to Game Pass as an exclusive in the first half of 2023, and quick editor's side note, shortly after this video releases, we'll have an Xbox showcase with Redfall being a main feature, so be sure to check that out for more gameplay and I'm assuming a date.
6 months ago, we crowned Nightingale as our most hyped game of the E3 season, so it's no surprise we're still pretty excited for it. The latest update came from a new trailer at the Game Awards, and there was plenty of cool stuff shown off. Particularly this awesome Mary Poppins-like glider umbrella, yeah, that's pretty sick. But if you don't know what Nightingale is, let me bring you up to speed. This is an upcoming survival game set in an alternate 1889 universe where you play as a realm walker. See, there used to be a network of magical portals to transport you to other worlds, but now they're down. So it's up to you and your friends to rebuild the network while you craft, fight a variety of enemies, and of course do some fishing? You know, the classic survival game stuff. Oh, and you can build some really cool bases. Nightingale continues to look super ambitious, but it is launching onto early access, so that should give the team plenty of time to realize their massive vision for the game. We've become huge fans of survival co-op games, so we can't wait to get our hands on this one when it launches sometime in the first half of the year.
Oh my god! Oh, you freaking A! Oh my god! No, someone got me from under the desk! Oh my god! No! No, they're struggling, man! What the heck?
Yeah, so that was kind of a lot. What you just saw was our time with Outlast Trials in just under 2 hours. It was way more fun than I could have possibly expected, and way more cooperative. Outlast Trials is a big departure for the series, typically a single-player, jump-scare survival experience, now turned into a cooperative, class-based survival experience, and I think it's going to pay off. You and up to 3 friends will enter specific missions and levels with multiple objectives that will push you to work together, split up, communicate, and use all of your abilities as best as possible. Those are all big cooperative buzzwords, and in our short time with the game, we saw all of that. I'm most excited to see how the classes evolve. We only really saw a small glimpse of what they could do, and there was clearly an interesting pathway for how it could continue to change. But either way, I usually avoid titles like Outlast as if it were the plague, and here I am talking it up as one of our most anticipated co-op games in 2023. Expected to come to next-gen consoles and PCs sometime soon, which yes, is a very generic thing to go off of, but it's all we've got for now.
It feels like we've been talking about Suicide Squad Killed the Justice League for years now, but even though we've seen very little of it, our hype remains strong. For the unaware, this is an action game featuring 4-player online co-op where you and your friends take the role of the 4 main members of the Suicide Squad. Notably, it'll be set in an open world metropolis setting as you're tasked with hunting down the brainwashed members of the Justice League, hence the Kill the Justice League title, but that should have been obvious. From what we've seen, we can expect each character to have its own unique traversal and abilities, hopefully leading to some nice team synergy moments. And as many of you know, this comes from the fine folks over at Rocksteady who previously developed the excellent Batman Arkham games. Suicide Squad is actually set in that same universe, which should hopefully make for some very interesting cameos. Given the pedigree of the developer, we're hoping that this is a slam dunk. Even though we loved Gotham Knights last year, don't come for us, there were some objectively bad decisions in that game. So here's hoping that Suicide Squad avoids the same pitfalls. We'll find out when Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League releases on May 26th for PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series consoles.
Capcom has dominated the monster hunting genre with, well, Monster Hunter. No offense to Dauntless, but that's just mostly due to a lack of real competition. Wild Hearts looks to change that trend. As you can probably guess, you'll be joining 2 of your friends in the beautiful world of Azuma in a quest to destroy gigantic and beautiful monsters called Kimono. Yes, I'm emphasizing beautiful here because, come on, look at this game, it might already have Monster Hunter beat in the art direction section. Wild Heart's other big point of differentiation is its Karakuri system, buildable traps, weapons, and platforms that help you in the hunt. We're still waiting on some information on progression to really give up to the hype of Wild Hearts, but IGN's preview by Casey DeFreitas was overall very positive. It's produced by EA and developed by Koei Tecmo, so you know this game is going to have some serious AAA backing to give it the push it needs. Expect it out pretty early on February 17th to all major next-gen consoles and PC.
So I need to get this off my chest. Andrew and I have never played a Diablo game. And no, we won't be taking any questions at this time, thank you.
Is this an out-of-season April Fool's joke?
But when we watched the Diablo IV presentation at the Xbox and Bethesda Showcase last June, we were sold. Robust character customization, an open world that reacts to your choices, giant world bosses and events. Yeah, that's more than enough to get us on the hype train. Look, I know that none of us are very hot on Blizzard right now, no pun intended, especially after the train wreck of Diablo Immortal, but you can't deny that this game looks awesome and hands-on previews from creators we trust have been super positive too. One of the aspects that has me most excited is the fact that the main story is non-linear, meaning Andrew and I will be able to wander the open world and have agency on how to tackle that main story. I think that sounds really cool, and coupled with the other open world features should make the game feel really alive and dynamic. It sounds like the side quests and particularly the writing has also seen a big improvement, and again, that all lends itself to a world that I just want to get lost in. We also appreciate that it'll feature local co-op, online, and full crossplay at launch. So yeah, frankly, we can't wait for June 6th so that we can dive into Diablo IV. It'll be available on all platforms bar the Switch.
IGN recently got an entire preview and hands-on session with Sons of the Forest, and if you're still unsure of this long-awaited sequel, I would suggest you go check it out, because this is exactly what we all wanted from the sequel. Smarter enemy AI, more organic crafting system, AI partners on top of 8-player co-op? Yeah, I've got February 23rd circled in the calendar. To me, the big question will be the story. I really liked where the Forest went with their off-the-wall story, but getting there was a bit obtuse. Knowing that this map and game is essentially tripling the size of the forest, I can't help but worry that working through the story here could be a tough task. I don't need them to hold my hand, but I also don't need necessary story beats to be hidden 100 feet below ground and completely hidden from the human eye. But to bring it back to the positive, because that's really what I should be emphasizing here, most people love the forest for its ability to set up an amazing sandbox survival system, and I think Sons of the Forest recognized that and is looking to capitalize. Let's all hope that this is the breakout survival hit we all want it to be.
When we sit down to watch a showcase like Summer Game Fest or the Game Awards, we're expecting to see some big surprises. And last December, Mr. Keighley brought the goods in the reveal of Remnant 2, a game we never thought would happen. Remnant from the Ashes is one of the biggest successes on the channel. A lot of people love that game, our video, and we still recommend it to this day. But if you have no idea what this is, basically it's a Souls-like but with guns. That's just the elevator pitch though. The original game featured random generated maps and bosses. So you could be exploring the first level and encounter one boss on your run through, only to encounter a completely different boss on the following run. But what does Remnant 2 bring to the table? It looks like more of everything. For one, the game looks a lot better and is only coming to next-gen consoles. It looks to have more worlds and more complex enemy designs too. One new thing is an expanded archetype system. They've only briefly mentioned this on the website, but it looks like a new system to provide passive bonuses and abilities. Basically, more build diversity is what that sounds like to me, and that's awesome. We didn't get a release window other than sometime this year, so hopefully we hear more on Remnant 2 sooner rather than later.
If you know the history of this channel, you won't be surprised to see Baldur's Gate 3 as high up here as it is. The developers, Larian Studios, have not released a full title since Divinity Original Sin 2 in 2017, and to say that that is anything less than a masterpiece would be a disservice to everything those developers pulled off. So yeah, the expectations are high. Granted, Baldur's Gate 3 has been in early access for several years now, and at times has gotten some mid-previews, but that is a lot of playtesting, my friends, and I more than trust them to learn and evolve this formula into something special. As for gameplay, I'm anticipating tough story choices to debate, great build diversity for battles, and a top-notch world to explore. My biggest hope is that you have the same co-op freedom we saw in Divinity, with the ability to go off and explore on your own, all within the same game session. Gabe, for once I'm cool with you killing random NPCs, if it means we get that next level player agency. That's what made Divinity a special co-op game, and that's what's gonna make Baldur's Gate 3 our most anticipated co-op game of 2023.
Thanks for watching our video, guys. If you want to support us, please consider subscribing or following us on our socials for more co-op content. We're on Instagram, Twitter, and even TikTok now. You can also check out our merch store and shop our retro-inspired collection, including some cool tees, a tote bag, and even stickers. We just recently hit 20k subscribers, which is crazy to even say out loud. Thank you for all the support, seriously, it means a ton to both of us. To celebrate, we're launching our official Discord server. If you want to be a part of our community, come join, chat, and find some other people to play co-op games with. You can find the link for all of that down below. Thanks again, we'll catch you next time on another episode of The Co-op Bros.